Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? What's up? What's happening, everybody? How we feeling? How we doing on this beautiful Monday that God made for us? Welcome in, my friends. How we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling, man? Hey, tough loss last night, man. Tough loss last night. But first and foremost, how we doing? How we doing? You know, we still Falcons fans? Are we still Falcons fans? We still rising up, still bird gang, we still dirty birds, We still on we still rocking with the birds, we everybody still in. Anybody need to get out the car? Anybody need to get out the car? Doe, let me out, Doe. Do I need to let anybody out the car? Y'all, anybody need to get out the whip? Y'all still riding or you need to get out? We still riding with the crew. What's happening, man? How we doing? How we doing? Yeah, man. So we got a lot to discuss, post game show, you know what I'm saying? I started to come on last night, but I figured it probably would do me more justice to sleep on this and go watch the game again so I can get out my feelings, you know what I mean? This was a very emotional loss. Let's start there. This was a very, very emotional loss. I've been on Twitter a lot after the game. Twitter's a trip, especially dealing with football fans. College football, NFL football fans is a trip, man. Judging Twitter and like other social media and whatnot, very, very emotional loss, man. Very emotional loss. People hot, they pissed off, That's why I had to ask, are we is everybody still in the whip, man? Do we need to let anybody out? Trey got out the whip and boys in the hoods. Anybody want to get out the whip? We'll let you out. No hard feelings. No hard feelings, man. If you need to get out the whip, just let us know, man. We'll open the door. We'll let you out, and then we'll come back, just like Doughboy and Trey did. We'll meet the next morning and we'll talk about the mission. Like, hey, when you got out the whip, this what happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like the movie Juice. I watched Juice. When I was sitting up here trying to get back well, when I was really under the weather, I watched Juice. It was free on YouTube. It came up on my algorithm, so I watched it. And it like Pac said, we the crew, always will be. So are we still crew? We still crew tight? We still rocking. We still rocking like a cut off stocking. You know what I'm saying? We still do the do-rag gang. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of emotions, man. Been a lot of emotions, bro. So I gotta ask. And rightfully so. Hey, we win. If we would have won last night, in all likelihood, we go into the playoffs for the first time since 2017. So being that we lost, it was very, very disappointing, highly disappointing for a lot of people, myself included. That's why I said did good for me. Just, hey, man, you just need to come on the next day, bro, because, you might get on there and you start banging on the Falcons, you know what I mean? And so, I slept on it, and I said, I'll just come on tomorrow when I have a chance to let my emotions simmer down a little bit, let my emotions simmer down. You know what I mean? Because I'm just seeing everybody, like, I seen somebody that say, hey, man, you need to move the Falcons to Valdosta, Georgia, bro. Moving to Valdosta, man. Like, make them play at the old Georgia State Stadium, man. You know what I mean? Arthur Blank, you need to sell the team, Arthur. You need to sell the team. Arthur Blank, you need to sell the team. You need to. In fact, Falcons fan, let's put together GoFundMe and do a hostile takeover and take Arthur Blank team away from him. He needs to sell the team. He needs to sell the team. They sell the team. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sell the team. Right. Raheem Morris, you need to be fired. Oh, my God. Fire Raheem. Fire Raheem. Please fire. Don't let him come back in the locker room after the game. He's a bum. He's a bum. Oh, my God. Michael Penix, oh, man, he ain't no bad. Kirk Cousins, he's a freaking bum, too. Cut Penix. Cut him. He's a bum. He's a bum. He is a fucking bum. Kyle Pitts still a bum. Kyle is a bum. Get rid of Rich McKay. You know, it's been a lot going on, man. It's been a lot going on, so I just have to ask, man. We still rocking, you know. We still rising up. We're still Falcons fans. What's happening? What's going on? What's going on? Oh man. So y'all do me a big favor, man. Make sure you hit that like button for your dog, man. Let's get into it. Falcons lose in a heartbreaker last night, man. That was a heartbreaker. We lose in overtime at that 24-30. It was a great game to watch as a fan outside of us losing. And what I mean by that, it was an exciting game. You know, you saw two rookie quarterbacks dueling it out. You know, you saw two Falcons head coaches dueling it out. You know, Dan Quinn was one-time Falcons head coach. You know, the head coach during the infamous 28-3. Raheem Morris was on that staff, and now Raheem Morris is the head coach. You saw some ex-Falcons players on the other side of the ball. You saw Zacchaeus, you know, he was taking it to us all last night. You know, you saw Zacchaeus was playing with a lot of passion. You know, y'all should have kept me. Now I'm finna do y'all in and make sure y'all don't go to the playoffs. The Florida Gator himself, Mr. Dante Fowler, former Atlanta Falcons, was out there doing it on us, playing big. You know, so a lot of Falcon stuff going on, a lot of gang stuff going on. You know what I mean? A lot of them. A lot of stuff was going on. As we all know, the Falcons really needed to win that game last night to continue to keep themselves in the driving seat to get into the playoffs. And unfortunately, we lost. So now we need some help from of all teams, the New Orleans Saints. Hollywood couldn't write a better script if they were doing the NFL movie. The Falcons needed help from the Saints. So now, in order for us to get in, New Orleans needs to upset Tampa Bay next week, and we need to handle our business and beat the Carolina Panthers. Is it possible both of those take place? It's possible. Is it probable? Not likely. It's probably not gonna happen. So next week, in all likelihood, will probably be the end of our 2024 season. Regardless of those factors involved that will or won't get us into the playoffs, we still need to go out here and finish the season strong. We have an opportunity against Carolina to have our first winning season since 2017. And regardless of the playoff implications, I think it's important that we do go out there and win that game. As the old saying goes in football, winning is contagious. So let's make sure to go out there and handle our business. You know, I want to end the season with a winning record. If we do or don't make the playoffs, you know, one game will be the difference between a winning record and a losing record next year. The NFL has set it up now where there are no more 500 seasons, either you had a winning record or you had a losing record. I actually like it like that too. One way or the other. There's no more 500s. There's no more 8-8 seasons. You either had a winning record or you had a losing record. But yeah, let's dig into the game last night, man. There's really not a whole lot that I can really say that you haven't already saw someone else talk about, or you haven't already talked about amongst yourself, or not a whole lot I can cover. I will say one component of last night's game is we came out of halftime. I believe we had a 17-7 lead at halftime. And if memory serves me correctly, Washington came out and they got the ball. And that's kind of what we lost a lot of the momentum that we had in the first half. D'Angelo Malone got a back-breaking penalty, man, which I really think changed the entire trajectory of the game, because we were getting off the field. Arnold Ebiketie had just got a sack, if I remember correctly, and we were getting off the field, and I think they called him for a 5-yard penalty, defensive holding, which is an automatic first down. So in reality, it was really more than a 5-yard penalty. They were about to come in and punt the ball, and we had opportunity to increase our 10-point lead. But needless to say, with that penalty, they were able to take advantage of that and actually score. And that really got them going. It enabled them to push forward and capture the momentum, which they truly never lost after that point. We saw Jaden Daniels, he really started getting his groove after that penalty, and honestly, we just didn't have a viable answer for him. And a lot of teams that have played Washington this year have not had a viable answer for Mr. Daniels. He's a very talented rookie quarterback. He's gonna be a problem for many moons to come in the NFL. And I would like to think the same about our rookie quarterback, also Michael Penix Jr. Hopefully this can be start of maybe a little rivalry. Penix versus Daniels. Right now Jaden Daniels is up 1-0. And it could have easily went the other way, and unfortunately, it did not for us. Bijan Robinson, he really got off that first half. I think Bijan had about 80 something out rushing yards in the first half, and in the second half, he really disappeared. No fault of his, but as I say, the momentum changed, and then we just couldn't get off the field on a third down at all. So the time of possession in that second half, especially that third quarter, Washington won that easily. There was one point until we scored in the second half, that touchdown, we only had 14 yards the entire second half prior to us scoring that touchdown in the fourth quarter. So that goes to show how much they were dominating the second half of the game. Bijan looked like he was going to have easily 150 rushing yards and possibly 3 touchdowns, and we just could not continue to keep him involved in the game, and that was very disappointing, because that's really how we were winning the first half, getting Bijan involved in the game and operating our offense based off our running game. And Tyler Algier, he sprung out some nice runs early in the game also. But once we got away from the running game, we lost the momentum. Then we started playing Washington's game, and being that they were at home, it was kind of tough for us. Like I said, we couldn't get off the field. What third down conversions? I'm trying to see what the third down conversions were. They converted 46% of their third downs. We only converted 20% of our third downs. So that's a big difference also. Both teams converted 100% of their fourth down. So they were 3 of 3 on fourth down. We were 2 for 2 on fourth down as well. Also, it was I don't know. I hadn't really watched I hadn't really watched any of the post game from the coaching staff, but it was interesting to see that Kadira Hodge was moved up into the depth chart over Ray McLeod as the wide receiver 3. So we saw a lot of Kadira Hodge in the game, based on what we have seen in the past this season from him. You saw Michael Penix target him quite a bit also, and I don't know why. I don't think it was like any kind of punishment towards Ray McLeod. I think it probably was more of a chemistry thing, being that Michael Penix has been throwing to Kadira Hodge all season, so maybe they were just trying to get him a more familiar target in the offense and decided to play Hodge. But tough loss. Once we went to overtime, man, we never got the ball back. Washington went right down the field and scored on us. That was that. I want to see us, and I've been saying this all year, but I want to see us upgrade, that linebacker room in the offseason. We definitely got to do better right there at linebacker. I think JT Bertrand stepped up and played a pretty good game for a rookie, but we need more than Caden Ellis making plays for us on defense. We truly need another impact linebacker. Also, we gotta get some help at cornerback outside of AJ Terrell. I don't want to pick on D. Alford, man, but Washington, they were eating his lunch. So we need another cornerback in the offseason. I'll say this about AJ Terrell. He had another excellent game as far as pass coverage goes. This was definitely not one of his better games when it comes to coming up making tackles. I don't know what was up with him tackling last night, but that was not one of his better games. But you don't really pay AJ Terrell to tackle. You pay him to stop the other guy from catching the ball, which he did an excellent job at. And to me, it's kind of a shame as far as AJ Terrell goes, because I really don't think this fan base appreciates him. He's a very, very, very good young corner, and he's had a very, 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 very good season this year. And for whatever reason, I don't know what it is about AJ, and I really can't say it's his contract, because once you sign a player to big money, then their expectations change. But it seemed like a significant amount of the fan base still didn't have the appreciation for AJ Terrell when he was on his rookie deal. And yesterday, he played outstanding. He locked this guy up. That was supposed to have been a big matchup, AJ versus McLaurin. I hope I said his name right. But I think he only had one catch for like 5 yards. AJ had him on lock. Truly Terrell Island. And AJ don't really get the proper respect that is due to him. Because he's a damn good young corner. Especially when he's played 90% of his career behind a piss porous defensive front, who can't get a pass rush, who really can't sack the quarterback outside of district these last 4 games or so. And so he really don't get his due credit. And knowing like I know, a lot of that is due to the fact that AJ don't get a lot of highlight plays as a cornerback. When I say highlight plays, I mean interceptions. Stuff that you gonna see on I was gonna say ESPN, but ESPN and I guess not TikTok. You know what I'm saying? We the kind of technology that kind of moved us away from your typical TV for highlights and post game stuff. But he don't have a lot of highlights. He don't get a bunch of interceptions. He only got 2 interceptions this year, which for AJ Terrell is kind of on the high side. But due to the fact he don't get a lot of interceptions, I don't think people really truly realize, how really good he is. Especially for a quarterback who's considered not a big corner. Stature wise, he's kind of a smaller corner, and people just don't realize, AJ is a damn good cornerback, man. He's a very good cornerback, and he don't get the credit he deserves. And after he signed his contract extension, the AJ Terrell hate really amplified, and I be puzzled. I be like, what am I missing with the AJ Terrell hate? I mean, there are times where he allows receptions. There are times where he goes against big receivers like Metcalf and Mike Evans, and they get the best of him. That happens. That happens. Hell, I remember when I was a kid. I'm a lot older than a lot of y'all who watch, but I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch. There were times I used to watch Deion Sanders have bad games. And the thing about it, and I'm not trying to disrespect prime time in any way, because it's one of my all-time favorite athletes, but history, they have removed that. People tend to talk about Deion like he never had bad games, and I'm not trying to compare AJ to Deion, but what I'm trying to say is, being that they both played for Atlanta, there were times I remember that Washington playoff game. Damn, coincidentally, the Washington playoff game when we went to Washington in '91, and who was that? Alvin? Was it Ricky Sanders? I mean, they was eating Deion lunch in a playoff game. They was tearing Deion ass up in a playoff game. So it happens. And I think when it happens to AJ, people tend to just put too much mustard on that. They put too much mustard on that. Same thing with Caleb McGarry. Two peas in a pod. And I'm telling y'all, I used to be the biggest Caleb McGarry hater in the world. From a football perspective, I couldn't stand that guy. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like, man, this is one of the worst first round draft picks we done had. But, and I'm gonna give some credit to Arthur Smith. Once Arthur Smith came in and he started working with his offensive line, hey man, he turned Caleb McGarry into a pretty good tackle. And I've said this before. I think people still hold those first 2 or 3 years of Caleb McGarry's career against him, and you have a tunnel vision, and you're not no longer having an open mind and looking at how he plays now. Even last night, hey, Caleb had another pretty good game. Did he have 1 or 2 bad plays? Yeah. Just like AJ, AJ gonna have that 1 or 2, sometimes 3 bad games throughout a season. Caleb McGarry had maybe 1 or 2 bad plays last night, but as a whole, Caleb played a pretty good game. So I don't know. I look at Caleb and I look at AJ kind of as the same. And I don't think people appreciate how good neither player is. I don't think people appreciate how good Caleb McGarry is. And he don't make a lot of money, So if you think you're just gonna get rid of Caleb McGarry and you're gonna just immediately upgrade him, hey, you might as well play the lottery at the same time, because you got about the same amount of chances of success. Finding good tackles, left or right tackles in the NFL, that shit is not easy, and that's why I do stand up for Caleb McGarry, because I know it's tough. I know how long it took for the Falcons to find a tackle on the right side of Caleb's ability. It took a long time, and he don't make a lot of money. So, I tend to go to bat for Caleb. And go watch the game again. Y'all gonna see like, well, damn, Caleb McGarry did play pretty good. He did play pretty good. Yeah, he had 1 or 2 bad plays. I'm not gonna sit here and just act like he Panay Sewell or somebody. But when you look at the game, you're like, damn, Caleb played pretty good football. You know what I mean? He played pretty damn good. And he'll have that occasional 1 or 2 bad plays. And just like AJ Terrell, when he have his occasional 1 or 2 bad games, people just blow that up. You blow it up and then you just sit on it. And you don't keep an objective eye to like look past that and look at it holistically and say, well, damn, outside of the one or two bad plays that Caleb had, he played pretty damn good football last night. Outside of the one or two bad games AJ had this year, he played pretty damn good football. Just like AJ had a bad game against Pittsburgh week 1, had a bad game against Seattle. But once you get past those 2 games, AJ been pretty lights out, bro. And if you're telling me I can have my quarterback only have 2 bad games and the rest of the games be very good or great, I'll take it. I'll take it. In this league, in today's NFL, when everything is predicated for the offense and the quarterback to win, I take it. You know, so I feel the same way about Caleb and also AJ. I feel like they get a raw deal from a big portion of the fan base. You know. Speaking of raw deals, let's go to the next person. Let's talk about this timeout with Raheem Morris, right? Goodness, boy. When that happened last night, I'm sitting here like I'm watching the game, you know, just like y'all were. I'm sitting here watching the game, and I watch. It was Mooney who caught the pass near the sideline, and I'm sitting here watching. I'm watching the clock tick. Then I'm thinking to myself, you know, real quick, like, damn, do we got any more timeouts? I'm like, well, shit, we got 2 timeouts. Like, Raheem, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Call a timeout. What are you doing? I'm just sitting, watch the clock. Click. I mean, tick. And then it's like, dog, what the fuck are you doing, Raheem Morris, bro? Call a timeout. Like, what are you doing? Like, did you fall asleep at the wheel? Like, what the F is going on? The fuck? I was hot watching that, bro. I mean, I was hot. And needless to say, man, that play was paramount. And that's what everybody in the Falcons fan. Well, I shouldn't say everybody. I try not to make blanket statements, but that's what a lot of people in the Falcons fan base have been talking about, you know, since the game. Raheem Morris in that timeout. That's what everybody on Twitter been talking about. That's what most people on Twitter have been talking about when they're talking about this game. That's what I've been seeing a lot of people on Facebook talk about. I've been seeing like a lot of the big pundits talk about it, you know, on their broadcast, like Raheem Morris, why didn't you call a timeout? Why, like, what were you doing? Why did you call a timeout? And it was a egregious mistake. And I really, even the next day, I really don't understand how he made that mistake. Like, what was he thinking? What was his rationale? I know in the press conference he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, I thought we could get to the line faster than we did. You know, which is really not an acceptable response, especially being that we lost the game. But I just don't know what he was thinking. And now let me also say this too. He also caught a lot of flack for misusing the timeouts in the first half. Now I'm gonna say this, y'all. Now I'm about to get to the point where I know a lot of y'all are finna start disagreeing with me, and that's totally fine. You know, totally fine. But I'm gonna be honest as I see it. The first half, I think that is blown out of proportion on the clock in the first half, because we still got the 4th down on that drive. You know, we still got the 4th down, and we still had time left on the clock after 4th down. So it's not like we ran out of time in the first half. You know, we got the 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, and 4th down. So I think the one in the first half is really blown out of proportion. You know, I get why people talking about it and they're mentioning it, but when you go back and you watch the game and you see how it was played out, it's like, well, it didn't really matter. You know, granted, you don't granted, we have been taught all our years watching football. It has been ingrained in our mind and our thought process as fans of the sport. Well, you don't leave any timeouts in your pocket. Make sure you're using all your timeouts. That's why they give you 3. But in the first half, like, that really did not matter because, again, we got to 4th down and we still had time left on the clock. You know what I mean? And I get it. I know I'm facing a grizzly bear in this Raheem conversation because I know how everybody feels about him right now. So for me to come up here and it's gonna seem to a lot of people that's watching this or will watch this later that I'm defending Raheem when I'm really just trying to look at it more from a rational standpoint. I'm trying to look at it with me not being in my feelings about us losing and probably not making the playoffs. So the first half, that one is really totally blown out of proportion. Now, the one at the end of the game, okay, valid gripes on that one. Very, very valid gripes. Very, very valid gripes. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this to everybody that's listening or who will listen later. Everybody who's on, oh, that's a fireable offense. He should be fired for that. Stop. Cut it out. Breathe. Calm down. Relax. There is not a coach in the NFL who has coached more than 10 games in their career hasn't had a clock mismanagement blunder at least once in their career. It happens. And I'm not defending Raheem for not using his timeouts at the end of the game, but to say this guy should be fired because of that, to me, you're in your feelings at that point. You're pissed off because we lost the game and we're probably not going to go to the playoffs. If you're looking at that one particular situation and saying, well, you should fire him because of that, to me, you're doing too much at that point. Because I saw that narrative, like I say, on Twitter, and it's a reach. Just relax, breathe. Breathe. Stay in the car. Don't get out the car. Don't get out the car. Don't be like Trey. Stay in the car with us. Stay in the car. But no, he shouldn't be fired for that. He shouldn't be fired. Absolutely not. He should not be fired at all. And I'm gonna come back because I'm not done with the fireable. I'm not done with the Raheem and the timeout situation. And like I say, I understand like this perspective. It's not gonna be popular, y'all. It's not gonna be popular. I know this. I know this fan base like the back of my hand, and I know everybody's pissed off at Raheem Morris right now, and I understand it. And I know my perspective and my dialogue won't go over well with the fan base right now. Now, if somebody go back and watch this video next week or a few months from now, when your emotions have simmered down a little bit, you're probably like, yeah, you got a point, bro. I was on one that day. I was on one. But I done came down. I'm not on one no more. The whole fire Raheem Morris thing, man. Like, listen, y'all. Listen. My fellow fans, I love y'all dearly, just like I love the Falcons. You can't make it a habit. You can't make your reputation known as a franchise who just constantly fires their head coaches in the front office. You can't do it. Hypothetically speaking, right? Let's say if we do fire Raheem Morris, right? Let's say if Black Monday hits and we fire Raheem Morris. Okay, cool. That would mean we have 3 consecutive seasons with 3 different head coaches. I want y'all to think about that now. Try to get out your feelings a little bit. Let's try to get out our feelings. Let's try to be rational in this thought process as we walk through it. Let's put our feelings to the side. We done lost now. Ain't nothing we can do about that. Ain't there? It's done. We can't go back in time. So now we pressing forward. 3 consecutive head coaches, 3 consecutive years. 2023, Arthur Smith. 2024, Raheem Morris. Then 2025, you're going to have a brand new head coach. 3 different head coaches in 3 consecutive years. Once you get to that point as an NFL franchise, and I'm not trying to cap and play that the Falcons some big shit, because we ain't, again, I'm going to keep it real. I ain't going to sit here and try to play like we some big shit and, we just a shit, because we not. We the Falcons. We don't even have to explain that. But as an NFL franchise, when you get to the point where you got 3 different head coaches in 3 different consecutive seasons, you are officially at the very bottom of the barrel. You are gutter trash as a franchise. You are officially at the bottom. You're not even at that point. You're not in the trash can as a franchise. You're at the bottom of the trash can as a franchise. You are putrid. You're a disgustingly pathetic franchise, and you don't know which way is up. And another element of that, when you're at that point, because I think some of our fans think we and even though they've been down a little bit lately, I think some of our fans think we the Patriots, we the Packers, the Chiefs, the Ravens. But when you at that point, when you just turning and burning coaches, everybody looking. That remind me of that old Gucci Man song. Everybody looking. Everybody looking. Everybody is looking. They like, damn, goddamn Falcons this they 3rd coach in 3 years. What the hell going on down there? Everybody's looking. When I say everybody, I mean everybody is everybody. Keyword everybody. Potential head coaches are looking, and agents are looking. Players are also looking. Potential free agents. Everybody is looking, y'all. So what would make you think? Because see, the point is, when you fire a head coach, your goal and your objective is to upgrade with your next coach. That goes without saying. But when you're on your 3rd coach in 3 years, pardon my French, who in the fuck would want to come coach this team at that point? Who? What head coach worth 2 quarters would want to put their resume in and come coach the Falcons, knowing that you're 1 bad season away from getting fired by Arthur Blank? What coach worth a damn would want to step in this mess? Who would want to come here and coach? Because again, the objective is to get a better coach each time you go through this process. Who do y'all think will want to come here and coach this team? And remember, everybody's looking. Everybody is looking. Who in the fuck would want to come coach the Falcons, knowing that you're 1 bad season away from getting fired? Who would want to come to this? We already got 2 strikes against us. 1 strike, we the Falcons. That's 1 strike. It's already going to be a tough enough job getting a good candidate because you the Falcons. 2, now everybody looking like, well, shoot, I don't want to work there. I had 1 bad year. They're going to fire me and my staff. I ain't got time for that. And then, for the narrative that, oh, man, we always just hiring these rookies. We don't never hire an established coach. We don't know. Y'all done heard that. Plenty of times. We don't never hire established coach. Well, oh, man, we always get these rookies. Ask yourself why. Why don't we get the big dog hire? Ask yourself why. That's some of the reason. It would be even worse. It would get even worse if we continue just firing coaches. That's not the model to get what we need to be or to get what we want to be. So you stick with Raheem. You give him another year. And this is coming from a guy that wanted Bill Belichick. This is coming from a person that wanted Bill Belichick. You go look at my tweets, all my old tweets. You go look at some old videos. Hey, I was campaigning for Belichick. I wanted Belichick. When all this stuff was going on, I wanted Belichick. And now everybody acting like, now I'm seeing the narrative like everybody now done went pro Belichick. But I'm telling y'all, when this whole coaching process was going on, there wasn't a lot of people in this fan base that wanted Belichick. That wasn't a popular name, But now the season has not went like people have wanted to go. Now everybody acting like, well, I was pro Belichick, And I'm not saying that to prop myself up or nothing like that, because I'm pro Belichick. But I'm saying now, keep Raheem Morris because it makes sense rationally. I'm not trying to think of. I'm not trying to form my opinion from a irrational emotional state, and there's no guarantee that Raheem Morris will work another season, but you don't know until you try. You can't keep turning and burning head coaches. You know what I mean? Everybody who want to fire Raheem Morris, who you gonna go hire? I hear people talking about, well, go get Ben Johnson. But Ben Johnson already turned down the job for Atlanta. He turned down us last year. There were a few people turned Atlanta down last year, but you know what? Y'all don't know that because they don't never publicize that. But it happened. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, and I know this from great authority. Raheem Morris was not priority number 1 within that office. In a sense, they kind of sort of settled for Raheem a little bit. It was a few people turned this job down, y'all. Again, we the Falcons. So if you keep just hiring and firing people and you continuing to lose, you're making it hard for this job to be attractive for anybody. Just because you done turned to the ultimate dumpster fire, it's not attractive for anybody to come coach. So you at least give the guy that you hired at the very least 2 off seasons. At worst, if we lose against the Panthers this Sunday, at worst, this is still the most wins that we have had in damn near a decade. Since 2017, 8 wins. So you're telling me the guy who's got the franchise the most wins that they've gotten since 2017, he deserves to be fired? He deserves to be fired after 1 season? After 1 season? So be realistic, man. Be realistic. I get it. Some people think just firing coaches is gonna fix all your problems. It's like that old saying about Atlanta. You know, people think that if you move to Atlanta, all the problems in your life go just disappear. No, you just move them problems to a different zip code. You the same person with the same problems. Atlanta ain't gonna solve. Moving to Atlanta ain't gonna solve that. You know what I mean? Moving to Atlanta ain't gonna solve that. You know, moving out. So just firing another head coach and hiring another one, that ain't gonna solve that. And then when a new head coach come in, if he don't win but 7 or 8 or 9 games, same fans gonna want to fire him too. Then what, you gonna be on your 4th head coach in 4 consecutive seasons? You know, if the new guy come in, he go 8-9, or he go 9-8, or he go to magical 7-10, y'all gonna want to fire him too. Y'all gonna want to fire him too. I was not pro Raheem Morris, but he here now. Let's at least give him an opportunity to get the franchise going in the correct in the right direction. At least give him the opportunity to do that. At the very minimum, give him 2 off seasons to get his blueprint around this team. You know, at the very minimum, firing and hiring, you know, that's kind of like just running away from your problems and not willing to actually face the problems that are in front of you. That's easy. Oh, let's just fire him. No, let's just fire him. You know, same people wanted to fire Arthur Smith this time last year. The same people wanted to fire Arthur Smith this time last year. Now the same people saying, well, let's just fire Raheem Morris. Like at what point do you say to yourself, you know what? We need to try to build some stability, some continuity, and some chemistry with the coaching staff and also with the players. And another name that I see, another coaching name that I see a lot of people mention, right? Check this out, right? I see people now, they reference the Lions head coach, Dan Campbell. Oh man, look at Dan Campbell, you know, he got real big nuts. Look at him, man. That's who you want, man. You want a guy with real big nuts to coach a team, man. You know what I'm saying? He got big cow nuts. You know, we need a guy with some real big cow nuts. Our guy got a little bit of peanut nuts, but we want a guy with big cow nuts, you know. So let's go get Dan Campbell, you know, Dan Campbell with all his Super Bowl wins and all his glory and all his victor. That's what we need in Atlanta. We need Dan Campbell. You know, let's go find our Dan Campbell and bring him to the A. He's gonna solve it all. You know, that's the narrative that I'm seeing from a lot of people, right? Go get Dan Campbell, right? Oh, big nuts Dan. You know, big nut Dan, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about that, y'all, Dan Campbell, right? He started 3-13 his first year with Detroit. He was 3-13. 3-13 his first year in Detroit. Dan Campbell. So just imagine if the powers that be in Detroit would have just said, that first year, 3 wins, you gotta go. Dan Campbell would have never eventually turned to what he has become today. It was 3-13 his first year. It was 9-8 his second year. Raheem Morris, in all likelihood, should be 9-8 his first year. So the poster boy for Atlanta Falcons head coaching success is a guy that started 3-13 his first year, 9-8 his second year. That's the poster boy for success. But you know what happened? The front office, they showed some patience. They were willing to let him build some chemistry, stability, and continuity. And look what happened after that. Now outside of the Chiefs, they're one of the teams that could possibly win the Super Bowl. The Detroit Lions. But people just looking at them now at the top, you know. It go back to that old, I think Drake had that line. You wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym. Everybody that's hollering Dan Campbell, y'all went with him when he was shooting in the gym 3-13. You know, nobody was like, oh yeah, that's the guy, Dan Campbell. No, y'all went with him at 3-13. You really wasn't with him at 9-8 either. You know, now he's an attractive name because now, you know, he's won 13, I guess 14 games this season. But you wasn't with him at the bottom. You went with him at the bottom. You know, and I get some people will say, hey man, well, the situation was totally different, man. Situation totally different. We talking about two notoriously terrible franchises who hadn't had a winning season in years. Two Falcons, Lions. Two notoriously terrible franchises who hadn't had a winning season in years. The Falcons haven't had a winning season since 2017, and in some hours we're gonna turn the clock to 2025. So, regardless of what may be said or what kind of pushback I may get, the Falcons have not been a good team in a long time. A long time. You know, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 6 consecutive losing seasons. You know how hard it is to have 6 consecutive losing seasons. That means, you know what? You're pretty damn bad. You are pretty damn bad. It may take some time to start winning again. It may take a little time to start winning again when you've had 6 consecutive losing seasons. 6 of them things. It may take some time to start winning again, you know. Don't expect to just you hire one coach, ooh, magic wand. You're in the NFC title game, ooh, magic wand. Again, the poster boy of head coaching success for my Falcons, Dan Campbell, 3-13, year 1. 9-8, year 2. Two notoriously terrible franchises who hadn't won in years. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, I know personnel and all that stuff is different, but a winning team is a winning team, a losing team. Neither team had won in a long time. So, for everybody who wants to champion Dan Campbell, and I ain't got nothing against Dan Campbell. I think he's doing a damn good job. You know what I'm saying? He's doing a damn good job. But if you want to champion him, look at the path that he took. He just didn't come there and all of a sudden they started winning. It took some time. He had to get his blueprint around the team. He had to get his philosophy, ingrained in that team. It took him 3 years. And now we want to get rid of our guy after one season. And he's possibly gonna have a winning season this year. And again, I was a Belichick guy. That's who I want. I want to get Bill Belichick. There was not one time where I said, "Hey man, Raheem Morris would be a good hire." No, but he here now. He here. When you keep firing your coaches, you pretty much you're kind of continuing to hit the reset button. I remember back in the day when I used to play Nintendo, bro. Like there was no memory card. But y'all got it good, boy. When I was playing video games, when I was trying to beat Mike Tyson, bro, there was no memory card. You turn that game off, you gotta start over. You know what I'm saying? So you keep hiring and firing coaches. Okay, you just continue to hit reset. You playing that 1988 Nintendo. You just continue to hit the reset button. You just hitting the reset button. If that was the case, you might have just kept Arthur Smith. Man. If that's what we gonna do, you might have just kept Arthur here. But the fans eventually turned on him too. You know, we turned on him too. Like, you know, we get ready to turn on Raheem Morris. Just at least try to show some patience. Hey, I get the timeout was ugly. I'm not debating that part, which I get it. I understand it. And we lost. So I get it. I get being pissed off. I get all that. I get it. But stopping and starting, hiring and firing, like, come on, y'all. Come on. And then, you know, you ask the person, well, who you gonna hire if you fire Raheem Morris? I don't know, just get somebody. Just get somebody. Or they'll say, well, go get this person. What if that person don't want to work here? Well, like I told you, Ben Johnson turned this down already. What if that coach don't want to work here? What if he looks at this, he's like, nah, I'm good on Atlanta, bro. I'm straight. I appreciate the offer. Appreciate the interview. But I'm good. Y'all got a lot of shit going on down there. I'm good. I'm good. I'm straight. And I tend to think like our biases also stand in the way sometimes of sound rationale, you know, because we Falcons fans, and I'm guilty as well. I remember when we did the prediction show before the regular season started. I had us going 11-6, right? I thought we'd win 11 games, and I think most Falcons fans they look at their expectation and their predictions based a lot out of the Falcons shades, out of the Falcons lens. So when I predicted 11 games and the next person predicted 11 games or whoever, or if you predicted 12, 13, 14, however many games, and the Falcons don't meet our personal projections or our personal expectations, we deem them the ultimate failure because they didn't meet what we thought they should meet. Like me, oh man, we didn't win 11 games. Fire every goddamn body. Shit. Arthur Blank, sell your damn team because you didn't meet my expectations. But me, my projections and my expectations were based upon my Falcons biased. You know, me thinking going into the season like, hey man, we good at this position. When in reality, no, you're mid at that position. You're mid. But in my eyes, no man, we good, bro. Shoot, no, but Buddy good. He good. No, he's mid. He's really mid. You just think he's good because that's the team you root for. You're an Atlanta Falcons fan, boy. You know what I'm saying? So you put a lot of cap on your players when at the end of the day, y'all only got like 2 or 3 studs on this whole team, dog. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, all these cats y'all think are somewhat good or decent. No, they really mid or they're not good at all. You know, but you know, whatever floats y'all boat, you know, Atlanta. And that plays a big part in it. Because I'm gonna ask y'all something, and I just been rambling. Pardon me, I haven't been looking at the chat, but I'm looking at the chat right now. I want to ask everybody that's watching this, if you don't mind helping me out with this. And you guys, well, I shouldn't say guys because that's another blanket statement. I'll be trying my best to stop doing blanket statements. But everybody who's a betting person, you know, NFL betting is big now. Shoot, people don't even watch football; they just be betting. I be like, man, what you don't even watch football. You don't even know what the outsides is, but you talking about your prize picks. I'm like, man, god damn, this shit didn't change. But anyway, everybody who's you don't even have to be a gambler, but if you do bet, it probably would increase something here. But Does anybody know how many games Vegas projected Atlanta to win before the regular season started? Once we had our full roster too. After we went through the draft and after we had our free agent period. Can anybody type in the chat? I'm looking at the chat now. What did Vegas project this team to win? The Vegas projection, not your projection, not CBS Sports, not ESPN, not your favorite person you follow on Twitter, not your homeboy, your homegirl. Vegas, you know, the people who set the betting lines. What did Vegas have us at? You know, I want to know. Coach, I see you are absolutely correct. The betting line that I looked at before the season started and the betting line that I looked at last night had us at 9 wins. Technically 9.5 wins. They had us at 9 wins. And we're gonna come right back to that also. But before we do that, we got a super chat coming in from my dog Greg. Thank you very much for the super chat, Greg. I do appreciate the support, man. As usual, y'all make sure to check out my dog Greg at Greg Custom Kicks. You know, some of the best custom sneakers that you're gonna find anywhere. You know, his work speaks for itself. Check him out everywhere on social media, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, and he has his tag right there by his name. It says, if the kicker had the leg, we're having a different conversation. Tied in the game could have been won. I think a healthy coup makes the kick. I tend to think that also. If you got a healthy coup, and unfortunately he's on injured reserve right now, but if you have a healthy coup, he probably does make that kick like Greg said. We having a different conversation. You know, we at that point, you know, we're in a good mood and we talking about, hey man, we got to beat Carolina. We're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. So I absolutely agree with you, Greg. You know, I think it was a 56-yarder. You know, it wasn't a chip shot, but it was definitely a makeable kick. You know, Koo hit the 58-yarder and he had plenty more to go in that first New Orleans game. So I wholeheartedly do agree with you, Greg. And again, I do thank you very much for the support as always, bro. Much love to you. And going back to the point with the wins, Coach says 9 wins. That's what I saw, you know, before the season started and also last night. They had us at, actually it was 9.5 wins. So yeah, still 9 wins. I say that because again, this is Vegas, you know. This is the people that have a multi-billion-dollar industry in analytics when it comes to sports, you know, commonly known as sports betting. You know, I say analytics because that's pretty much what it is to them. It's analytics. They don't have any emotions in this shit. This is probability and analytics. You know what I mean? And analytics mean that they got some straight up nerds, you know what I'm saying, who analyzing every single thing, every single player, and all that stuff. But they had us in 9 wins. So, and coincidentally, we're headed to the last game of the year with a chance to hit what? 9 wins. I say that to say this. Once we get past our biases and everything and so forth, that's about the team that we had. That's about the talent level that we had. 9-win team. That's what the experts look when they looked at our roster. They analyzed our roster, our talent. Hey, this is a 9-win team. You hit 9 wins, you don't hit what your expectations are supposed to be. You know, and they don't have their emotions are not into this like our emotions are into it. Their biases are not into it like our biases are into it. You know, so if we don't hit the magic, like for us, like for me, when they didn't hit that magic number 11 that I projected they win, And I'm all upset. I'm all being irrational. Hey man, fire everybody, fire everybody. Y'all should at least won 11 games because I said y'all should win 11 games, because I'm the expert at this and I know it all. So since y'all didn't make it, y'all suck. Fire every goddamn body. No, they don't look at it like that. There's no emotions in it with them. It's analytics to them and probability. 9 wins. Go back and look at it. Vegas didn't have us at 11, 12, 13 wins. No, like, bro, y'all a 9-win team. If you get 9 wins, hey, you got what you should have got based on the talent that you have. Ain't no emotions in it with them. Ain't no emotions in it. Like, hey, you are a 9-win team. That's what you are a 9-win team. Your talent says you should win 9 games. That's with your draft picks. That's with what we thought would be a healthy Kirk Cousins. You are a 9-win team. So when we don't hit that magic number, you're like, there's no emotions in that with them. But those are that's, as Falcons fans, those are the emotions that we have. And so when our teams fall short of our personal expectations or our personal projections, we lash out. And I'm not blaming anybody for that, because that's what fans do. We are a emotional bunch of people as football fans. A lot of this is based off emotions. So when our teams don't hit the projections that we think they should have hit, hey man, let's lash out. Let's call for everybody's job. Let's call for everybody's job, even though the true experts at this stuff, they said y'all would win 9 games, and that's probably the amount of games y'all gonna win. But let's fire everybody, man. Let's fire everybody. We didn't make the NFC Championship. We ain't going to the Super Bowl. Everybody need to lose their job. Everybody need to lose their job. Everybody need to lose their job. So again, and I know this ain't a popular take, y'all, and feel free to disagree with me, but I'm trying to look at this without my emotions involved. I'm trying to look at it from a more of an analytical standpoint. First year head coach, a franchise that hadn't had a winning season since 2017. Guys, there were not a lot of good players on this roster going into the season. If you've lost 6 consecutive years, guess what? Your roster is more than likely shitty. Your roster's shitty. You know what? You could have one losing season by accident. Hey, injury here, injury there. Yeah, we better than that. Maybe 2. But dog, when you get to 6 consecutive losing seasons, your roster is not good. Yeah, your roster's terrible. That don't happen by accident. And you talking about different coaching staffs. You talk about different general managers. The roster just ain't good, No matter how much passion we put into it as fans, and it just ain't good. Okay, so you get a new head coach, and they come in their first year, they've won 9 games. It's not what we wanted as fans or what we projected, or it did not meet our expectations. But guess what, y'all? That's not bad for a first-year head coach. I'm sorry. Especially for a franchise that hadn't had a winning season since pre-COVID. Pre-COVID. That's the reality of the situation. That's the reality of the situation. Once you get your feelings out of it, once you get your emotions out of it, once you lose the irrational reactions and train of thought and look at it for what it is. So y'all want to fire this guy who done did something that ain't nobody did here since 2017. You know how long 2017 was? Rest in peace, but Kobe Bryant was still living. We talking about I think that was Trump's second year in office. Been a long goddamn time. Long Long time. Long damn time. So let's breathe. Let's relax. Our team will focus on Carolina. Hopefully the baghead Aints will do us a solid. You know what I'm saying? And beat Tampa, and maybe we ease in. But if not, hey, it is what it is, man. Everybody don't need to lose their job because we won 9 games in the regular season. No, Raheem Morris don't need to lose his job because he mismanaged the clock one time. He don't need to lose his job for that because he mismanaged the clock one time. No, Raheem Morris don't need to lose his job because y'all don't like the way y'all don't like his personality and the stuff that he said at a press conference. You don't need to lose his job for that. You don't need to lose his job for that. He don't need to lose his job because he hired first-time coordinators to be on his staff. It probably wasn't the most ideal thing to do, but hell, when Arthur Smith first came here, and I say this respectfully, he brought Dean Pease older ass in here who had like 100 years worth of NFL experience, and that defense still was terrible. And Dean Pease had all the experience. Dean Pease had all the experience in the world. I'm talking 50 years worth of experience. Defense was still terrible. So no, he don't need to lose his job for all the reasons that I'm seeing people saying that he should lose his job. He don't need to lose his job for all that, man. Turning and burning coaches, like, man, that's knee-jerk reactions. That's knee-jerk reactions. After year 2, we will reconvene, reevaluate. Hey, you make a decision based on that at that time. But if you're gonna hire a new head coach and you're gonna fire him after his first year having 9 wins, you should have never fired your other. You should have just kept Arthur Smith here. If that's the plans, you should have just kept Arthur Smith here. Should have just kept Arthur Smith. If that was going to be the plans, Arthur Blank, should have just kept Arthur Smith. But hey, the same fan base, they said Arthur Smith was the worst coach in Falcons history. They said he was going to go to Pittsburgh and take away all their Super Bowls. He was so bad. Arthur Smith was the worst coach I ever seen in my life. That's what our fans said. Now, I'm going to give y'all another take before I get out of here that's going to be very unpopular, y'all. But look, hey, got to talk about it. The Raheem Morris timeout, it was big. It was polarizing. But you know what? It's still kind of blown out of proportion in a sense. I'm gonna ask y'all a question for everybody that's watching. And if you know the play that I'm talking about, put it in the comment section. There was one play. Excuse me. There was one play last night, and this is all coinciding with the timeout by Raheem Morris at the end of the game that he did not call. But there was one play last night, guys, that we failed to execute. And if we execute on this one play last night, that timeout or lack thereof of a timeout is a moot point. There was one key play that we didn't execute on. And in hindsight, it actually cost us. But nobody is talking about it. Does anybody know the play that I'm referring to? If you know the play I'm referring to, please put it in the comment section. If we execute this play, we're not talking about this timeout because it changed the entire dynamic of how that game ended. And this is a play that was a fairly easy play to execute properly, but we failed to execute it. Nobody is talking about this play because it's easier, and rightfully so, it's easier to blame everything on Raheem Morris. My guy Slim got it. Slim, you are on the money, my friend. That's the play I'm referring to. If we execute this simple pass, this was an easy pass. If we hit Mooney, who was wide open, wide open. And if you go back and watch the game, you can watch Mooney's body language after we did not get the ball to him. Just watch his body language. But if we execute this pass like we should have, we are never talking about this Raheem Morris timeout. That's why it's important to execute, especially when it's there. But that was it. When Michael Penix missed that pass, and see the thing about it is, like, you know, most of us like Penix. He's a rookie. It was a change of pace from Kirk Cousins, and again, he's a rookie. You know, you don't want to beat up on your rookie, especially your rookie quarterback. You know, most of us gonna give our rookies a pass, rightfully so. You know, as a rookie, no, you don't want to point any fingers at him or none of that. Rookie, only his second start, hostile territory, huge game, prime time. So you consider all those factors, and you like, I'm not gonna say that about that. You say, I'm not gonna say nothing about that. I'm not gonna say nothing about that. But the fact of the matter is, and let me say this before I get started. Listen, y'all, I'm not blaming Michael Penix. For the record, I want about, hey man, tight end not blaming Michael Penix that we lost. He said Michael Penix fault and not Raheem Morris fault. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you what happened. Michael Penix is left-handed, right? So that's what we call his strong side, the left side. He's left-handed. The play opened up on the left side, his strong side. Mooney was running to the left hash mark. He was wide open. In the NFL, that's supposed to be a routine completion. Routine. That's a pass an NFL quarterback is supposed to be able to complete in their sleep. Especially a guy who's wide open on your strong side. Now I can understand if he was streaking open on the right side and you left-handed, or if you right-handed and he's streaking over on the left side. That wasn't the case. This was a routine completion that you gotta complete. And I get it. He's a rookie, man. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you this, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. If that was number 18 and he missed that guy, we would have lit his ass up. we would have lit his ass up. Ricky or no Ricky, that's a pass you got to complete. And I'm sure we'll look at this more in detail when we do our film session when the crew come up here, which we'll probably do tomorrow night. But I just want y'all to see it. I want y'all to see it for yourself. We won't spend a lot of time on it, but I do want you to see it. I do want you to see it. So give me a second. We're gonna just look at this play and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. This is Mooney right here. This guy is beat as beat can be. He's beat. Mooney is wide open on the left side. This is a pass we need to complete. 14 seconds left. 24-24. Look at him now. Just hit him right here. He's wide open. This guy's not even in the picture. This guy's 2 yards off the receiver. He's totally toast. Totally toast. Now, as you can see, if we put the ball on Mooney we put the ball on him right here. This guy's out of the play. I ain't got to tell y'all this, but Mooney got some speed. I don't know what his 40 time was, but he can move. You know, he could. Much respect to Drake London, but this ain't like this Drake London. Mooney has speed and he has quickness. Shout out to Drake. I'm not dissing. I'm just painting a picture. Just painting a picture. If you hit him right here in stride, he can catch this ball. He can turn right upfield, and he can head to the sideline. There's a guy right here. He's not in the screen yet. There's a defender right in this area. But realistically, Mooney would take this ball, catch it, and he would go out of bounds around the 33 to 32 yard line, maybe the 31, but we'll just say 33, 32 yard line. At least the 33. If you hit him right here, he gets out of bounds at about the 33 yard line, about right here. So instead of that being a 56 yard field goal attempt, that turns into like a 48, 49, 50 yard field goal attempt. Much, much easier for the kicker at that point. Much, much easier for that kicker at that point. And we got a super chat for our guy, Greg Custom Kicks. Thank you very much, Greg. I do appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate the support, man. He says Michael Penix Jr. had 6 quarters of in-game experience at the time of the play. With more reps, he'll definitely be better. He missed Bijan on the wheel route also. Yes, he did. And Greg, I absolutely agree with you, bro. And again, I don't want anybody to get it misconstrued. I'm not blaming Penix, y'all. I'm not. I like what I saw from Penix. So I'm not blaming Penix, but I'm just trying to paint a picture. And like Greg said, he missed Bijan on the wheel route also. And I'm sure when we do the film session, we'll look at that also, because Bijan would have walked into the end zone. And just like Greg said, that will come with time. That will come with time, practice, and repetition. And also just building that bond and chemistry with your players and getting to know the guys. Getting to know Bijan, like, you know, how fast or how slow is Bijan in terms of into running under a football. The same for Drake. You can't throw the same pass to Drake that you throw to Darnell. You can't throw the same pass to Kadero Hodge that you would throw to Kyle Pitts. So it's all familiarity and chemistry. So again, y'all, please don't get it misconstrued. I'm not beating up on Michael Penix. I'm definitely not blaming him for the loss at all. I like what I see from the kid. I love his poise. You know what I mean? But again, this is a pass that you got to complete. This is not a hard pass to complete at all. This is not a hard pass. And again, y'all make sure to check out Greg at Greg Custom Kicks everywhere on social media. Get your custom sneakers, your favorite team. You know, I got some custom Falcon sneakers. Uncle Steve got two pairs of custom sneakers, so I gotta catch Steve and get me another pair next season. But any football team, any sports team, or if you want to just like get something else, he'll take great care of you. Shout out to you, Greg. And going back to the play, if we hit him, see, now at this point, the ball should be caught. And look at this guy. He's 10 yards away. And he don't even have an attacking angle. So trust me when I tell you that Mooney could have caught this ball and flared right to the out of bounds line. He probably would have went out of bounds somewhere right around here, which is about the 33-yard line. If we lucky, he might could have got to the 31. But I would be conservative and say, hey, he go out of bounds right here. 33. And if that's the case, we can send out the field goal kicker for a 50-yard kicker, a 50-yard field goal attempt. Or we still got 2 timeouts. You may run another play and see if B. John can get you an extra 1, 2, 3 yards to make it a 47, 48-yard field goal attempt. And again, I'm not blaming Penix, but I'm being honest, y'all. That pass right there in that situation, you got to complete that pass. That ball sailed right over Mooney's head. He's wide open. He is wide open. Look at his body language right now. You could already see it's like, God damn, Penix. I'm open, bro. Look at him. Putting his head down and everything. Look at it. Put his head down. Y'all see it right there? He knows it. But you know, that play gets overlooked because it is a rookie Michael Penix. But much love to you, Penix. Hey, man, I think you got a bright future in Atlanta, but hey, you got to complete that pass. I know you're a rookie, but you got to complete that pass. You got to complete that pass. Climatic, shout out to you. Appreciate you coming through. Says Mooney unprofessional for that body language. You're probably right. I can't argue that. I will just say he was just in the heat of the battle. He was in the heat of the battle, and he knew he had his guy beat, and he knew he had probably at least another 7 yards to gain, which would have set up his team for an easier field goal. But ultimately, I agree with you. Cole says him missing this pass is exactly what they said in his redraft report. He has zero ability to put touch or arc on the ball. It's all bullets, but a better coaching staff would help fix that. And that's a pass he has to complete. You got to complete that pass. You got to complete that pass, rookie or no rookie, a quarterback at the NFL level. That's a chip shot pass. Like they say, chip shot field goals. That's a chip shot. You have to complete that. And it's on your left side. And I keep stressing this on his left side because it's all the comfortable elements for him to complete the pass. You know, he's throwing to his strong side. He's throwing to the side that he operates best and most comfortably with. So that's a pass you got to complete. And if you do complete that pass, then guess what? The timeout becomes a moot point, and we're not discussing it because the situation in the scenario is different. If we complete this pass wish we should have completed the pass. Real talk with G. Lou. What's up? He's been only working with them for 2 weeks. Hey, I agree with you. I agree. I totally agree. He don't have a lot of familiarity with him, but I'm gonna say this, G. Lou, you still gotta complete that pass, bro. You gotta complete that pass. You got to complete that pass. You know, even if you ain't worked with him a whole lot of time, or y'all had a lot of reps with each other, you gotta complete that pass. You got to. Notorious TBG says Raheem Morris has to call the timeout before the pass, so it's a moot point. But if we complete the pass, we're not even talking about the timeout. Like that's the point I'm really ultimately trying to make. Is when you have an opportunity to execute what is deemed to be an easy play for a professional, hey man, you got to complete it, man. And again, I'm not blaming Michael Penix, you know, because he is a rookie, and like a lot of y'all have said, you know, he don't have a lot of chemistry with the guys, which I do agree with. But when the opportunity presents itself, hey man, you got to take advantage of it. And like I've been saying, I know this is not going to be a popular take, because it's easier just to blame Raheem Morris in the timeout. But as you can see right here on film, we had opportunities to overcome that timeout, and we missed those opportunities. You know, so it's just different ways to look at it. Justin Farmer, hey man, thank you very much for the super chat. I really do appreciate that, brother. Good looking out, Justin. Thank you. Justin says the missed opportunities from Penix. Hold on, I'm sorry. Let me go back up. The missed opportunities from Penix play after play, missing wide open throws that could have been touchdowns, is what cost us the game, not bad clock management. Justin, y'all, Justin said that. Don't get mad at me. I like Penix. I think he's gonna be a stud. But Justin said it. Justin got a damn good point too. Direct all hate mail to Justin Farmer, y'all. Justin saying this. Justin says the missed opportunities from Penix, play after play, missing wide open throws that could have been touchdowns, is what cost us the game, not bad clock management. Justin, that's a prolific comment, sir. That is a prolific comment. And again, I understand Penix had a lot of time to work with his guys, but some of these throws, just like the one we're looking at with Darnell Mooney, hey, you got to complete it, man. You got to complete it. You know, you're a top 8 NFL talent, and some of these throws are just typical normal football throws that must be completed. And if we're being honest, you know, if we're being honest and not irrational, you have to agree with Justin's statement. And we're not blaming Penix, but yeah, we missed a lot of big play throws, like the one we're looking at now, like the one I think Greg mentioned with Bijan. There was also a throw with Drake London that we hadn't even looked at. You know, we had opportunities. If we connect on even just one of the throws that we missed, it's probably a different game. But it's easier to blame Raheem Morris. That's the easier thing to do. You know, it's easier for all the pundits on Fox Sport and ESPN and all the blue checks on Twitter who got, you know, 400,000, 500,000 followers to just regurgitate the narrative that Raheem blew it, 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 Raheem blew it. But we had opportunities and we didn't take advantage. We did not execute. Still got to be able to execute. Noah says he the 8th overall pick, got to complete the wide open passes. Noah, I could not agree more with you, my friend. He is a rookie. He is a rookie. So hey, y'all know my motto. I don't go hard on my rookies. But I'm telling you, when you go back and you watch the film does not lie. The film does not lie. The film does not lie. G. Lou says, so mention the throws that was dropped. Which ones? You know, because I don't want to make it seem like, you know, I'm just trying to paint an agenda or a narrative. I really was just trying to show if we complete this one pass, it changes things totally. That 56-yard field goal attempt then turns to like a 49-yard attempt, and it's a much easier kick to make. Justin also says, okay, you talking to Jada? My bad. Jada said again, he's a rookie. Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you, and that's why Jada, that's why I don't have the same. I'm not giving Penix the same kind of energy that I would have gave if this was Kirk Cousins. But I'm telling you, I would have banged on Kirk Cousins. I would have straight came in here and I'd have banged if this was Kirk Cousins throwing this football. But it's a learning experience for Penix. But we still got to be honest too. You got to complete them throws, man. You really do. That was not a hard throw. That's a easy throw to complete. Doing stuff with CJ. Shout out to you, CJ. Appreciate you coming on or coming through. He says, Todd, he is a puppet. That's your words. You're right. You're right. You are absolutely right, bro. And that's why I'm trying my best not to like really point a blaming finger at him, because he a puppet. He don't run the yard yet. You know, I still got. There's still some big dogs in the backyard that run the yard, so he don't run the yard yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's only so much finger pointing that I'm willing to give him at this point. Climatics says Kurt would have put these numbers up. Possibly. Coach says, can't wait to film day. I told you before what was going to happen, and it happened exactly as I said. It should have been run heavy yet again, not put in the best position to win. And it seemed to be, Coach, that was the game plan coming into the game, but we got off track after halftime, and I think that was due to the fact that Washington just took the momentum from us, and we couldn't get off the field on third down. But I do agree with you. I totally do agree with you, and I'm not telling y'all like not to blame Raheem Morris, because ultimately we're gonna blame who we want to blame, but I'm just saying like there are plays, namely this one, that nobody's gonna talk about, nobody's gonna mention. But if we complete this pass, totally different situation. But with that said, man, I want to thank y'all for y'all time. Y'all make sure to come and check us out. We're gonna try to do the film session probably tomorrow night sometimes. And there's a lot, as y'all see, there's a lot to look at this film. Some of you have mentioned Penix missing easier throws, so we're gonna look at that also. And he also made some great throws. The throw to Kyle Pitts on fourth down, that was a monumentally great pass. Excellent pass for a young quarterback. Poised, wasn't rattled. He threw a perfect strike and made the pass. So I want to highlight the good stuff he did also. I don't want y'all to leave here saying, hey man, you blaming Michael Penix for us losing, because that's not what I'm trying to do at all. I'm just trying to show both sides of the surface. Justin says the hardest thing that I'm gonna ask is we gotta keep Cousins or cut him or trade him and make Penix to start the next season. I think that Kirk Cousins will be formally announced that he will be cut probably around March 13th or March 14th, and they will do it as a post June designation in order to break up the money on the salary cap. But I think they will definitely cut Kirk Cousins, but they're gonna make it a post June cut. T Terry, what's up? Hey, Ty, Michael Penix missed 3 throws that could have been nice. He missed Bijan going down the right. He missed Drake on his blind side. You're right. But y'all, T Terry said that, y'all. I didn't say it. T Terry said that. T Terry said that. T Terry said that. T Terry said that. Dante, shout out to you, Dante Williams. Appreciate you coming through. Washington fan here. Hey man, good game, great game, man. That was a great battle. Hopefully, our 2 young quarterbacks will be one of the next great rivalries for the next 10 years in the NFL. He says, Washington fan here, good game. Y'all got a bright future. Thank you very much, man. We definitely do appreciate that. And with that said, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for coming through in the chat, man. You know, rapping with me, the engagement, and also you know, letting me vent. I tell y'all all the time, man, like y'all are my therapist, because dealing with these Falcons, you know, I need an outlet to vent my frustrations quite often. And I have found that, you know, this is a great outlet, and I definitely appreciate y'all for, you know, let me have some of your time, just to come on here and vent. And we bounce ideas off each other. We bounce opinions off each other. So I appreciate it a lot. Much love to y'all. And come check us back when the crew will be up here. And we're going to look at that film also. And hopefully we can do a mock draft all the time, because I did promise Jada that we would do that. But y'all enjoy y'all Monday, man. Be good. God bless. I'm gone. Peace.